I am from How To Taxes, and I'm here to help you prepare your Form 1040 when you have education expenses. The assumptions of this video then are that you are single, you can't be claimed as a dependent by someone else, you are an employee with W-2 income, and during 2021 you were a full-time student pursuing a degree. On the front page of the Form 1040, under the Filing Status section, check the box that you are single, put your name, address, and Social Security number at the top of the form. Also, make sure to answer the question regarding virtual currencies. In this example, the answer is no. On line 1, put your wages. You can find this information in box 1 of the Form W-2 that your employer sent you. In this example, it is $42,850. Carry that down to line 9 and line 11, as you have no other income or adjustments to income. On line 12A, put your standard deduction. Since you are single, it is $12,550. It is assumed in this example that your standard deductions will exceed your itemized deductions. On line 12B, put your charitable contributions. The maximum amount that you can take is $300 when you are single, and it cannot be non-cash contributions. It is assumed that you gave $300 or more to a charity. Put this amount on line 12B, add lines 12A and line 12B together to arrive at $12,850 on line C. Carry this amount down to line 14, as you will not have a qualified business income deduction. Subtract line 14 from line 11 to arrive at $30,000 for taxable income on line 15. Next, we will calculate your tax. You can find the tax tables beginning on page 65 of the Form 1040 instructions. Since you had taxable income of at least $30,000 but less than $30,050 and you are single, your tax will be $3,404. Carry that amount to line 16 and down to line 18, as you will not have any additional taxes in this example from Schedule 2, line 3. Next, we will calculate your education credit. In this example, we will be taking the American Opportunity Credit because the maximum credit is more than the lifetime learning credit. There are certain specifications that you have to meet to take either credit. In this example, it is assumed that you meet those specifications. There is a limit on modified adjusted gross income, which is $90,000 for singles, which you meet. There is a limit on the number of years of post-secondary education and the number of tax years the credit is available. The limitation is 4 years, and in this example, you are within that 4 years. You also need to be pursuing a degree. You need to be enrolled at least half-time, and you also cannot have a felony drug conviction. Line 1 of the Form 8863 directs us to Part 3, so we will start there. On line 20, put your name. On line 21, your Social Security number. On line 22A, put the name of the educational institution that you are attending. On line 22A1, put the address of the institution. On line 2, put whether or not you received a Form 1098-T from the institution. On line 3, check yes or no depending on whether box 7 was checked on the 2020 Form 1098-T that you received. On line 4, put the EIN of the educational institution. You can find this on Form 1098-T. Line 23 will be no. Line 24, yes. Lines 25 and 26 will both be no. On line 27, put your qualified education expenses less any tax-free educational assistance that you received. The maximum amount that you can put on this line is $4,000. In this example, our adjusted qualified education expenses was more than $4,000, so we will put $4,000 on line 27. On line 28, subtract $2,000 from line 27, which will be $2,000. Multiply that by 25% for $500 on line 29. On line 30, you're going to add $2,000 to the amount on line 29, so that will be $2,500. We will carry this amount to Part 1, Line 1. On Line 2, put $90,000 as you are single. On Line 3, enter the amount from your 1040 Line 11, which is $42,850. Subtract Line 3 from Line 2 to arrive at $47,150 on Line 4. On Line 5, enter $10,000 as you are single. Since Line 4 is equal to or more than Line 5, we will enter 1 on Line 6, and we will multiply that by Line 1 for $2,500 on Line 7. On Line 8, we will take Line 7 and multiply that by 40%, which will give us $1,000. We will enter this amount on Line 29 of the Form 1040. On Line 9, we will subtract 8 from Line 7 to arrive at $1,500. Since we don't have an amount on Line 31 of Part 3, we will enter 0 on Line 10, and we will skip lines 11 through 17, and we will enter 0 on Line 18, and we will go to Line 19. On Line 19, we will enter the amount from Line 7 of the Credit Limit Worksheet. You can find this worksheet on page 7 of the Form 8863 instructions. Line 1 will be 0 as Line 18 of Form 8863 is 0. Line 2 will be $1,500 from Line 9. Line 3 will be $1,500 as you add lines 1 and 2 together. On Line 4, enter the amount from Line 18 of the Form 1040, which is $3,404. Line 5 will be 0 as you don't have any credits on Schedule 3. Line 6 will be $3,404 as you're subtracting Line 5 from Line 4. On Line 7, enter the smaller of Line 3 or Line 6, which will be $1,500. You do not have to attach this worksheet to your tax return, and basically, since this is a non-refundable part of the credit, it is assuring that you have enough tax to cover the credit. Enter this amount on Line 19 of the 8863 and also on Schedule 3, Line 3. On Schedule 3, total the amounts down to arrive at $1,500 on Line 8, and then carry that to Line 20 on your Form 1040. On Line 21, add lines 19 and 20 to arrive at $1,500. On Line 22, subtract Line 21 from Line 18 to arrive at $1,904. Carry this down to Line 24 as you do not have any self-employment tax for Line 23. On Line 25A, put your federal income tax withholding. You can find this from your Form W-2 in Box 2. In this example, it is $2,500. Carry that amount down to Line 25D. On Line 32, you're going to add up all your total other payments and credits. And you had the refundable part of the American Opportunity Credit on Line 29. So that will be $1,000 on Line 32. Add all your payments together on Line 33 and you will arrive at $3,500. If you have an overpayment on your return, put it on Line 34. In this example, we have an overpayment of $1,596. As you'd want it refunded to you, put it on Line 35A. If you want it directly deposited into your bank account, check the type of account that you have on Line 35C and put your routing and account information on Lines 35B and D. If you don't want it directly deposited into your bank account, cross off Lines 35B and D and the IRS will send you a check directly. Note that there's a box to the left of Line 35A. You would only check this box if you wanted your refund deposited into more than one bank account, so usually this would be left blank. Remember to sign, date, and put your occupation at the bottom of the form. Thank you for watching. I am from How To Taxes. Subscribe for future tax videos.